Hello, everyone. I've got this video is going to be about 15 minutes long. I was going to chop it up in two parts, but I'm just going to upload it, the way it is. It's me talking to Byron at Artis Opus. I picked up a set, the 5 sets of his dry brushes, from the big one all the way down to the little one with the sponge and the cleaner. And I thought it would be something that you guys would like to see. So if you'd like to see it, stick around, give a thumbs up, give it a like, If you don't, well, move on. But it's going to be about 15 minutes long. So I'm just warning you now. So get something to drink and enjoy. See you in a bit. Now here we are with Artis Opus. And your name?
My name is Byron. Hello.
Byron. And here he is working. I mean, I was skeptical until I sat down and watched this guy, man. Look at that. That's using his brushes, guys. I just picked up a set of them.
So it turned out nice. We don't have we've got another great unclean one being built over there, but yeah, he turned out real nice. Super pleased with him. And we've been doing a little bit of other stuff. And the idea is we're going to try and get 2,000 points out of Adepticon.
Ah, I see. Are you going to play? You're playing with him today?
I'm not playing with him at Adepticon, but by the time I'm finished, I want to try and leave with as close to possible as a full
I
Nurgle
got
army.
you. I got you. So this is your pad.
Yeah.
These are your brushes, so the guy does use them, people. I mean, I heard the people say, "Oh no, he don't use them. That's bullshit." I have been watching him. I keep coming back, and I was just sitting around in the back there, just watching, because I was skeptical until I saw that.
Turned out nice, didn't it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then some other work that he's got here. He's working on that one right there. Right now.
Yeah. I can put down. It's on
Sure.
the fly, but I've been trying to remember what a color wheel's like in my head, so I think I need to go lime green here to keep this pretty. So we'll start with the same purple base, and then we'll try and transition through to a lime green, and we'll see how that goes.
No. Bear Hunter extraordinaire. I'll just say double check.
I'm being recorded twice. Cam reception. Okay. Do you want the full experience? Want me to tell you exactly what I'm doing down here?
Just whatever you're doing. I'll just watch.
Okay, so basically this is our dampening pad. What we're doing here is we are introducing a reliable amount of moisture, small amount, but a reliable amount consistently throughout the painting process, because our paint was designed to be diluted. So we're not touching a paper towel. That's just crap. It shouldn't be done. No one should be doing it. It's wrong. It pulls all the medium out of your paint.
That's what I've been doing. Paper towels, yes.
It pulls the medium, or cardboard, anything like that. It pulls the medium out of your paint more than it pulls the pigment out of your paint. You end up with more pigment, which is chalk, and then you wonder why your models look chalky and mine look smoother. And it's because I've treated the paint in a way where if I remove paint from my brush, I'm just removing paint. I'm not removing more of the wet.
Gotcha. So that's where we're now, guys. That sponge is I'm telling you, there's notice. Very little water. Very little.
It's a tiny little.
Yeah, just a tiny little
bit. So what we're going to do is before, during, and after, we're going to do it. I'll show you base coating because I think it's an important part of this. So I like to base coat with the brushes too, and I do it with smushing and stippling. And the nice thing about this is you get a consistent thin coat everywhere. It's been diluted a bit.
But this is your paint you're using.
Yeah, this is the first time it's been out in the wild. It's probably going to be ready at some point at the end of the year. Alright, so the lovely thing about base coating like this is that's practically dry already. By the time I come down for second coat, first coat is already pretty much dry, even on a hyper textured surface.
And look, guys, he's getting a good coat on there. I mean, it's a good, consistent coat.
Yeah. I love base coating like this. So obviously, if you base coat with an airbrush, you get a perfect flawless coat. I love it. I love my airbrush. But the nice thing about this is because we're about to use a physical technique, being dry brushing. We want a little bit more protection than you would get to your model, especially given that it's going over Chaos Black Primer, which is a bit satin. Than if you airbrush that on. If you airbrush that on, you're at risk of if you're on a lip,
I got you.
something
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
You know what it's like? You knock it
Yes.
off with a dry brushing because it's a physical technique, right? Right, I need to get to my bag so I can get some colored colors.
How's it going?
We're going to go for lime green here. So the idea is we'll go from a purple base and we're going to transition all the way through, hopefully, to something quite special.
Is that copying it or?
Oh, I just watched it.
Cool. Oh, of course, yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good.
It had a little paint explosion on the flight.
Dry brushes that you guys have?
Yeah, so in your bag you will receive one of our small brushes.
Yes.
So then you
Okay,
just get
so
the rest of that
I put my paint on my palette in lines.
Uh-huh.
The reason is hopefully you won't ever see me shoving my brush into the middle of a pile of paint.
So you're pulling it off the corners, the edges of it,
Always,
like in the front or the back. I got you.
I'll always be sneaking it off.
Well, that's good because you're not shoving it in there and mixing it all up.
Exactly, man.
Right?
There's no point saturating it at any point. So, got two lines down here. See me pulling it off like 45-degree angle. They're heading towards each other. Mix it carefully. Even though I'm mixing with the same brush that I'm painting with, you'll see that it's
Yeah,
never
I can see
traveling
it
down.
there.
Because it's not wet, it's not soaked. There's nothing pulling that paint into the ferrule, which is what screws up brushes. No one wants to screw up their brushes. So we're going to go pretty much cover everything with this step. It's okay though. We need a way to transition through to our green, so just got to suck it up.
So I didn't have loads of questions because I initially said any issues, text me, I'll get back to you when I can. I was like, I don't fancy that. So I just said, essentially, while I'm away, you're in
I'll do to keep it snappy. I'll just do one of the sections for
Sure.
you.
issues or anything like that. I trust you. It's real time.
I just want people to see how you use your brushes and,
Absolutely,
and
man.
So obviously,
how there's another way. There's
There
always
is another way.
here's my
You know.
I mean, so one of the things that I find the most difficult is that people don't treat dry brushing how they treat the rest of painting. Like
Right.
the rest of painting, you talk about glazing, and sorry, my throat's getting dry. You talk about glazing, and there's some stuff from glazing you can apply to airbrushing. There's stuff from airbrushing you can apply to layering and feathering and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, we're just using paint from a brush on a model, and all of the rules that apply to the others apply to dry brushing.
Right.
So we're just going to take a load of those rules. I'm going to say some stuff that won't be new information to anyone, but maybe it's new information in the context of dry brushing. This color is so nice. Right. So you'll see we're not looking to take our brush to a heavy point
Let me see if this will
ever.
give it a bit extra.
Building it up carefully.
So you're basically layering it, just building it up.
Yeah. I'm just trying to, and same with
Right.
same with layering. If I don't use water, my paint job's gonna look shit.
It's gonna look, it's gonna look like shite.
Exactly. Take some lime green. It's quite a big jump there, so we'll do a transitional step. Again, we're going to pull them into each other. Oh, it's looking like nice. I think that's a nice mix. So I'm still doing fairly heavy steps, but I'm doing a heavy amount of paint on the brush, soft touch.
It'll be fine for no, that'll be fine for now, but this just needs charging. Yeah, so then it'll last longer when I stick it on.
You can get some kind of OSLE vibes on the go with this, even if we are going quick. That's something to remember. I'll show you this on the palette actually. Now, this won't be a surprise to anyone. So just taking a blob of the light green. That's light green.
I see what you're doing. Yeah.
That's a medium green. So one thing to remember is that paint is going on all the time, active, volatile, however you want to phrase it, inside this brush. So we're going to be making the most of that at various points. Hold that in mind in a second. So step it up, make it a little bit lighter. And what I'm going to do is you're going to see me starting to go back to the dampening pad. Of course, if I put some moisture in this, it's going to mix even more with the previous layer. So there's more moisture, it's softer, and it's darker like the previous steps. If I want to fade anything out, I'll do some little soft steps.
Ah, okay.
That's it. So particularly, this isn't a great area to show it on, but like on Papa, as we go up the zones, I'd do like a block of color, which is lighter, block of color, which is darker, and then this step, when I mix in a dampening pad, I go from stippling, doing a big fat line next to a big fat line, looking like a bad painter, and then we dry brush over it down these fat folds. Sounds weird to say, doesn't it? And then we get a nice fade, a transition.
Yeah.
So I'll try and make the middle of this a bit lighter so we can kind of get an idea of that type of effect. Take a bit more of the green. Always working it in, always twisting it. We got round dry brushes here. They're proper dry brushes, so we want to use them from every angle we have available.
Look at that. You can see it coming alive now.
Right? I'll try and make the middle brighter. It's not necessarily how I think it should look, but it's a good way to demonstrate the technique. I'll do this directional because why not? So I'm going to start dragging away from the center. Keep it so that light is kind of coming from one source. It's going to look very weird, but it should work out. It's Nurgle. I'm sure we can get away with it. And what I'm going to do after this step is I'm going to clean my brush so that I don't get that mixing going on inside it, which we've been talking about. I want to go to pure green. Also, I really encourage people to clean their brushes as they go. It's just a very good habit to be into. So you're going to clean it.
So just by tapping it there, well,
Yeah.
You're going to clean it so you get a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I pop some moisture in. It's pretty dry in here. Normally you wouldn't have to do that if you're indoors, unless you're in a particularly dry environment, but it's dry as hell in here.
And that's how you clean it.
Yeah. And we clean as we go, because it's by far the best way to do it. You can be fairly physical with the cleaning, just always be dragging,
Gotcha.
never pushing it.
Never pushing this, so it doesn't get all up in the ferrule.
Yeah, exactly, man. And those bristles will not thank you for that. Okay, quite a bit cleaner. I'm okay with how moist that is now. Take this now. We were effectively using just the green, but it was getting mixed in our brush. Now it's not going to be getting mixed in our brush, so you can see.
I see.
Quite a bit lighter there, quite a bit brighter. Start soft.
Look at that.
I'm getting there, right?
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I always start in the area where I want it the lightest in case I screw up. And then when I'm happy with the amount of paint that's on the brush, then I'm more confident in going back to there. We're going to get to go to an even brighter color very shortly. Getting to look quite cute. Again, we're drawing out a line so I can sneak a little bit off the end. We're not looking to saturate or anything. Mix in the same place on my palette as the previous color. Coherency. Okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Cheers, man. Don't be afraid to turn your model around instead of trying to get to some awkward angle with your hands. Like, your stroke's going to work better at certain orientations. Don't force it.
Thank you very much. If I can grab
Okay, take this now. Mix it in a new place on the palette so I don't get any of the previous color. Still work it in though. So it is going to mix with the previous color in the brush.
How much are the dice?
$10.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Really nearly there. And I'm going to, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take take an extreme approach and get a great big brush just for illustrative purposes. Show you how little the size of a brush matters with this technique.
I was sold on that big one. That's why I ended up buying them. I just kept coming back to that.
This is my baby. I love this brush. Great big brush. And what you got to bear in mind here is we haven't even stepped up to fluorescent paints. If I had a fluoro green or a fluoro yellow here, yeah, we could make it. We could turbo that like real nice. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. I'm telling you right now, these brushes, they're Artis Opus. There's the brushes there. I've seen them on YouTube. I didn't believe it until I had to see it for myself, guys. So I picked up the set. So you guys do it too. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
So I hope you like that. I'll tell you, the guy made a believer out of me. So I ended up buying his dry brushes. I want to try it. I mean, he was real patient with me. He sat down. He showed me how he uses them. And I really like that system of how you do that. Now, is that going to change the way I paint? No. But I will incorporate this into my painting. So I think it'll take it to another level. I don't know. There's different opinions on it. Everybody has them. You know, something that Chris Bello said the other day. I was watching one of his TikToks. He says, you know, there's a million different ways to tackle a million different things when it comes to this stuff. So there's no right or wrong way. So if you guys like these, Artis Opus, again, it's ARTIS Opus, OPUS.com. Thanks for watching. Ciao.